So, why do I think paying off debt should be a priority in your life? I've personally focused on this heavily, even to the point of downsizing so we can reduce our mortgage that we've eventually and luckily now cleared off completely. The faster you can repay your debt, the less you spend on interest. And the interest is just paying for the opportunity to borrow that money. Also, and probably the biggest reason why I did it, it reduces the stress. A debt-free life is insane. And having a debt in your life is like having an unwanted roommate. It's always there, nagging you and actually dragging you down. It frees up your finance completely. With more flexibility, when you have no debt, you can actually save, and rather than paying interest, you can earn it. Actually, paying off your debt can boost your credit score. Paying down the debt looks good to lenders. They like that you've actually been able to pay off that debt. If you're worried about your credit score, it does help. You can always, if you want to keep your credit score high, just make tiny purchases and make sure you pay them off at the end of every month moving forward. Before we go into actually how to pay off the debt, I just want to give you a real quick example of exactly what it's costing you. The average credit card in the UK at the moment has a whopping, and I think criminal, 35% APR. That is madness. Within 3 years, you'll have paid back more than you borrowed in the first place. That is completely ridiculous. So, an example just to put in perspective, if you spent £1,000 on a credit card at 20%, so a pretty good credit card, and you pay the minimum off over, let's say, 8 years, it will cost you an extra £1,150 in interest. So you end up paying for that holiday twice. Even car loans are ridiculous. A £25,000 car loan over 5 years, you end up paying nearly £5,000 in interest. That's a crazy amount of money. And just think what you could do with that elsewhere. Don't even get me started on payday loans. Some of them have a ludicrous 2,000% APR. So if you borrowed only £500, you'd end up paying £1,200 in just a few months. So how do you actually get rid of that debt? All debt isn't created equal. There are good loans, in my opinion, and there are bad loans, and there are high interest rates and there are low interest rates. And what you want to do is make sure that if you are borrowing money, it's for things that can add value to your life rather than just quick sort of dopamine hits like a new phone or something like that. Anything over, I would say, around about 5% per annum is expensive debt, and debt that you don't want to be dealing with for too long if you can help it. Anything under that, if you are good at managing money, you can maybe work out with. If it's debt on things that aren't actually creating value, I would get rid of those quickly as well. There's two main methods that I like to use, and it really depends on the kind of person you are. The one that I would recommend for most people is probably the snowball method. If you're in a lot of debt already, it's likely that you're not great at managing your money. What you want to do is take out the mathematical equations that you may not be too keen on, and this method is where you focus on paying off your smallest debt first while maintaining the minimum balances on the rest. Why this actually works is that the quick wins of paying the smallest debt first keeps you motivated. So if you've got a small £100 shopping that you want to clear off, you pay that off quickly. Then what you do is you take that money that you were paying, put it into the next one. And as you can see, slowly but surely, those small payments that you've made previously added on to the other ones end up snowballing, thus the name, into a larger and larger snowball until you can throw that thing straight at the larger debt and clear that off quickly. You completely disregard any interest rates in this and focus on the smallest and the second smallest and so on until you've cleared off all your debt. The snowball method is very much for people that just need a very simple method. You can easily do it, and it doesn't involve calculating anything at all or even looking at your interest rates. The next method is called the Avalanche Method, and this one is for those that are fully aware of what their interest rates are, they know what they're paying, and they maybe have just got into a bit of debt that wasn't necessary. So what this method is you end up paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first. Why this works is because it saves you the most money in the long term. You're clearing off that debt that's expensive. So for example, you've got a credit card at 25%, you pay that off prior to your personal loan at 10% or your car loan at say 7%. So what happens is a small little bit you're able to chip away at the start, slowly starts crumbling down into more and more loans as you clear off the more expensive ones, and it sort of trickles down like an avalanche. Or avalanches don't really trickle, but you know what I mean. Then another sort of way that I don't personally like, because I think in my opinion it actually just hides the debt, and that is debt consolidation. Basically, you get one single and must be, and I reiterate, must be lower interest loan to clear off all your other loans. It makes it a little bit simpler, but it also means you're not going to get any of those small wins that keep you motivated as you're sort of cutting back to save money to push forward. One of the things that I know I've spoken to many people about, and that is they try to earn their way out of the debt. And whilst it's a very good option, if you can do side hustles, sort of freelancing, selling stuff, whatever, in order to earn more income that you can then throw at the debt, that's a brilliant idea. Trying to earn your way out of a problem hasn't really changed the habit that's got you in there. So if you feel those debts a little bit more, it can really help. If you're at a point where you literally cannot even make the minimum payments and you're struggling and you're in a position that feels so dire, I would 100% recommend getting in touch with the lenders and trying to negotiate with them. You'd be amazed how many are willing to do payment holidays, etc., or potentially look at redoing the loan, reducing the rate in order to actually recoup their money. None of these lenders want you to default on the loan. So if they can help you for a little while, they definitely will. And as the old adage goes, if you don't ask, you don't get. So give them a call. Worst case scenario, they say no. Best case scenario, you can actually save a lot of money. And then I always think debt, for me, feels a little like quicksand. The longer that you're stuck in it, the harder it is to escape. It really starts to feel like you can't go anywhere. But with the right plan and the mindset, you can pull yourself out. Let me know down below in the comments if you have any debt that you're sort of working on paying off and which method you prefer in order to pay off the loan. Before you pay off the loan even, it is worth setting out some financial goals for yourself. You can easily project into the future of what you're really looking to do. Where do you want to actually go with that money once you've paid off the debt? And that will keep you motivated, or at least help. So drop a comment below. Let's crush that debt together. And if you found this useful, hit the like and subscribe button, share it, and any questions, do let me know. Thanks so much, and on to the next one.